Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking all about Tempe, Arizona. Now I'm Josh.
And I'm Barbara. And this is going to be one of those map videos. So we've heard from some of you that you really like these, and it really helps to explain the area. So we love getting your calls. We get them all the time. We've both lived here for a long time, so we really know this area very well. We've both lived and worked in the Tempe area. We're here for you. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. You can send us an email, a DM, a text message, however you want to get a hold of us. We are here for you, and we're here to answer all your questions.
So let's dive right into it. So we're going to do all the ins and outs of Tempe today, but we won't be able to cover everything just because there's so much. So again, if there's something that you want to know that we didn't cover, just leave a comment down below or reach out to us. We're always here to give you as much information as possible about these different areas. Now, getting right into it, as you can see, the outline in the center of your screen, outlined in red there, that is the city of Tempe, Arizona, and that's going to be just to the east-southeast of Phoenix itself, or at least of downtown Phoenix. It is one of the smaller cities in the Phoenix metro area by physical size. The only one that's a little bit smaller than it is going to be Fountain Hills, Arizona, which is going to be up on the far east side of the valley. Now, Tempe borders, as we zoom in here, it's going to border the Sky Harbor Airport, which is Phoenix's main international airport, which is just on the west side. The north side is bordered by the Salt River, although there's a little part of it that juts to the north side of the Salt River right here. And that's going to be this green area here is going to be Papago Park, which has the Phoenix Zoo and things of that nature. And there's going to be a couple little outskirts. This one right here is in exclave of Phoenix, right in there. It's a really nice area. If we go to the satellite view here, you can see right here we have on the north side is Tempe Town Lake. This is a great area just for recreation. They do have beaches on both sides. If we zoom in, there's going to be some beaches up here. They are smaller beaches, but they're still sands.
You know what? But I want to make it clear that the beaches, this lake, you can't swim in this lake.
Yes, definitely do not recommend swimming in it, but you can still lounge on the beach by the water. Water sports here are pretty big. This is where there's a lot of rowing and there's fishing here and stuff too. ASU's rowing team and their other water teams practice here on Tempe Town Lake. But it's just overall a nice area to go to have some water, get some good fresh air, just enjoy the scenery. And then right up here, this is Papago area, right here on the left center of your screen. Now this area is a big park area, which has a bunch of hiking trails, a bunch of different lakes. It has the Phoenix Zoo, and on the north side of it, it has the Desert Botanical Garden.
And if you're into biking, there's a really nice bike trail that goes all along there. So you can basically go from the Salt River all the way up through Tempe, up into Scottsdale. And it's a really nice, very scenic bike path.
Absolutely. There's plenty of parking here at Tempe Town Lake as well, as you can see, both on the north side and then over here on the south side. Over here on the northwest side of it is where the beach volleyball courts are, as well as their linear park. And this area is kind of hard to see on the satellite view, but this is actually all the sandy areas here. And right here, I know it looks like it's right next to the freeway, but the freeway is actually elevated. And there's walkways to get underneath to go over up here to the canal trail to go along the canal here. So you're not really as interrupted by the freeway because it's elevated and has the barriers. It is actually more peaceful than it looks.
I will say that this area along the Salt River, you can see that there's a lot of development there. So just to the east there's a great big huge shopping center. It's called Tempe Marketplace. There's a few big box stores in there. There's a big movie theater, and a lot of little restaurants and things like that in the Tempe Market Center.
So if you see on the left side or the west side here, and in the south side here on the bottom, these are going to be all your kind of big box stores where you just park up and go into. Then on the north side, this is kind of like an outdoor shopping mall. So in the center here, you have your walkways with a bunch of trees. They have some water features and sitting areas here. And then as you're walking down, there's going to be all the shops and restaurants that you'll be able to enter from the right and left side as you're walking down. It's really a nice, cool little area. Now, one of the things that Tempe is mainly known for, actually, I'm going to backtrack a second here and talk about the development Barbara was
Yeah,
talking
so
about.
on the south side, well, actually on both sides of the Tempe Town Lake now, there is a lot of businesses that have moved in and built their corporate headquarters in this area. So you've got State Farm, they've got a huge operation there. There's several large banks. There's a Marriott. There's now a Mountainside Fitness facility there. So a lot of people that live in Tempe are either, Josh will talk about it in a minute, but either associated with the university that's there, or they're probably an employee at one of the many, many uh, business headquarters that are located in the business parks that are on both sides of the lake.
Yeah, speaking of the business parks, if you see on the center left of your screen, just below Tempe Town Lake, all those businesses there, those are actually relatively new within about the last 10 years, depending on the building. Some are brand new. And then if you see again on the south side, just to the right of the State Farm building here, we got a parking lot. But then on the right side of Scottsdale Road, all of this land here that you see here in the center of your screen now is actually being developed right now as more um, business complexes and business centers and industrial complexes. So it's really building out this right along the Salt River as a large business area, which is supported by the Arizona State University right below it. And then even on the north side of it, straddling Scottsdale Road here, a lot of these are not really businesses here, but there are some shops in and around for food places. But these are mainly hotels and condos and apartments right here, and all of which are fairly new, and some are still being built or just haven't been built.
Yeah, and a
So,
lot of those are high-rise type. So if you're looking for that urban lifestyle, that is a place that is very popular among people that are looking for that type of lifestyle.
just to give you a little bit of a look of the high rise. The ones on the right, they're still high rises, about 5 to 8 floors, and the ones on the left are a bit taller. And then these buildings here along the waterfront on the south side are all pretty tall buildings, at least for Arizona standards. And then going into the main part about Tempe is going to be the university. And going back to the map view here, if you see kind of this grayed area, slightly grayer area, which is going to be straddled by Mill to the left, Rural Road to the right, and then it does have this enclave to the right of Rural between University here and Rio Salado, going almost all the way over to McClintock Drive there. All of this here is the Arizona State University campus. It is a large campus, but also kind of more of a city campus, if that makes sense. Some campuses feel much more like a small little college town or just a campus itself. This feels more like a city than one of those more traditional college campuses. Then, as we go to our satellite view here, you can see just how built up it is. And everything you see here on the center of your screen right now, between Apache Boulevard to the south, University to the north, Mill to the west, and Rural to the east, this is all the campus right here with all the different buildings. As you can see, they have the Engineering Center, Armstrong Hall, they have their law building here and library, the Student Recreation Center down here with the intramural fields, dorm rooms would be on the bottom right. Then the campus goes all the way to University and past it all the way up to Veterans Way here. All of this is still Arizona campus, being different buildings and classrooms, with the Sun Devil football stadium here on the far north end, and the this is the Desert Financial Arena here is the basketball arena. Now, also this right here is called A Mountain. So the neat thing about A Mountain here is if you see this A, the university will be painting that different colors at different times of the year, from white to gold to maroon, depending on the time of the year and what team the school will be playing. And usually football, but basketball will still have it painted sometimes too. Neat tradition there is at the start of the year, you will, as a freshman, walk up the mountain here and hands paint the A. They'll give you paint to put on your hands, and then You make your mark on the A, which neat little tradition. But Arizona State University is kind of the heart and center of the Tempe area, providing many jobs for the residents, as well as the financial and the business center on the north side of it, as well as the west side. Many small businesses over on the east side, which we'll touch on shortly, and then kind of surrounded by housing.
Yeah, so most of the housing that you're going to see around the university tends to be more investment type properties, I would say. People, buy these properties and then rent them out to either the students or the faculty at the university. Although more and more people are wanting to live in this area because of its close proximity to obviously the university, but also downtown Phoenix. So more and more we're seeing that these homes are actually being purchased by, for people for their primary residence.
Yeah, and on the west side of the Tempe campus here, there are, if you are into that urban living, it is, remember, a bit of a college town, but it is a mix of college and professional. So it's going to be generally a bit younger, but still not just college kids, which is a nice thing. On the west side here are a bunch of different high-rise apartment and condo options for you, which most of these are pretty new. West 6 is going to be the oldest high-rise here, and even that's only about 10 or so years old. So they've been doing a lot of construction in this area recently. And it's kind of neat to see it in the satellite view here, is if you see these areas which are a bit more muted are the residential, and then on the far west side here, bordered by the 143, this is all going to be industrial area. You can tell by the white topped buildings there that they're industrial versus residential. And then likewise here on the south side, a lot of industrial area as well. And then as well over on the east side here, right by Tempe Marketplace, a lot of industrial and business center areas here too. But that is going to be the heart and soul of the Tempe area. Now, with Tempe, let's talk a little about convenience. It is a very conveniently located area, being right next to downtown. You are bordered by freeways all the way through. You have the 202 on the north end, 143 on the west end, and the I-10 on the west end, and the Loop 101 north and south going on the east end. Then you even have the 60 kind of as an artery going right through the center of Tempe. And the 202 south as well, just past Tempe, which is makes it very easy to get wherever you're trying to go in the valley.
Yep.
Now, with Tempe, the north side of Tempe and the south side are pretty different a bit. The north side mainly catering to the business and the university. The south side is mainly residential, although there are several business and industrial centers around there to help support the area. But it is going to be mainly that classic residential, where they'll have the golf courses. You even have right here the Lakes community is one of the waterfront living options here in Tempe.
Yeah, there are several gated communities in the south part of Tempe. So if you're looking for a large luxury home and you want to be close to the downtown area, there are options in Tempe for that. Obviously, there's a lot of smaller, older homes that were built in Tempe, so that's an option for you. One of the things about Tempe, it is landlocked, so there's not a whole lot of, very little, if any, new construction that's going on. What happens is, sometimes people will purchase an older home or an older section of homes and bulldoze them down and then rebuild some new homes. So you can still find some fairly new homes in this area, but for the most part they are going to be older. You can see some of these homes are pretty large. They're on large lots, acre plus lots. They've got tennis courts, a lot of swimming pools. Just about, it's very common in this area to have a private swimming pool. Not a lot of homeowners associations, so for the most part, this part of Tempe does not have a homeowners association. So if you're looking for a community that doesn't have that, we can find that for you too.
Absolutely. But those are kind of the highlights of the Tempe area. Again, it's kind of settled around the Arizona State University, which one more thing I want to touch on Arizona State is the ASU Gamage Auditorium. This is where a lot of shows and theater productions are put on for the Phoenix metro area as a whole. So a lot of the things such as maybe Wicked or Lion
Yeah, the
King
Broadway shows.
and all those will be done here at the ASU Gamage, which has ample parking. It is a very cool looking building as well, with these nice circular architecture, the nice walkways going up to it, parks around it. So it's very pretty overall. But that basically covers the gist of the Tempe area. Again, we did not cover everything, so if you do have more questions, please reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you and give you as much information as possible about it. But the main points for Tempe is you have plenty of business, you have the university, and plenty of shopping centers around. And combined with that, multitude of different living options from urban to residential, HOA, no HOA, guard gated. And then it's just convenient to wherever you're trying to go around the valley since it is centrally located. But hey, thanks for joining us. If you did like that video, make sure you hit that like button. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. It helps us out a ton. And then we'll see you next time.